what things in actually happen in real life. This stops when the guy comes. That's why I always get my partner off first. Then I never have to worry about the humiliating 3-pump dump. I tell them all the same. The 30 minutes of my going down you, that's for you. The 3 minutes of penetrative, that's for me. The 45 minutes of me crying after, that's also for me. That way they know what they are getting, and you don't have to worry about it. Almost everything. People are perverts. It's not the question of whether someone does the act you're into, more the question of the proportion of people who would be willing to. E.g., there are girls who will do ass to mouth, but that percentage is like 80% and 3% in the general population. People sleep with their bosses all the time. Slutty secretaries are things. If someone has more than one secretary or assistant. My husband has several executive assistants, and they are competing for his attention constantly. If I show up to his office unannounced, it's like dropping a nuclear bomb among them. I had a crush on my stepdaddy. I'm a stay-at-home mom. The ladies in my mommy group have wild stories. The bored MILF in your neighborhood exists. So many haven't been made to feel sexy since the baby. Literally just do that, and you'll be surprised by what they do. Excuse me, miss, what neighborhood do you live in? I think I may have some people to cheer up. Nurses getting freaky with patients. Worked on a tele unit a long time ago, and we had a gentleman going through alcohol and narcotics withdrawal on the unit. Glancing at the menus, I see his telebox going tachycardic, meaning heart rate is getting above 100 beats per minute. Can't find the nurse assigned to him, so I go and check. He was in a double room with no neighbor, and his curtain was drawn shut. So I approach and say, Mr. X, is everything all right? And as I draw the curtain back, I see a mess of blonde hair and half an ass scrambling under the curtain to the neighbor's side of the room and collide with not insignificant force into the locked hospital bed. Scrub bottoms and definitely not work-approved panties were on the floor next to his bed, and he's just lying there covered in sweat with his member at full attention and says, "What's up, man? Yeah, I'm good. Can I get some ice water?" I say, "Sure. These yours?" and kind of kick the scrubs and panties on the floor. He just kind of shrugs and laughs. I leave the room and go back to the nurse's station, and about 10 minutes later, his nurse comes back and just sits at the telemetry station next to me and doesn't say a word. "Your guy in 23 wants some ice water," I said. She just kind of nodded, not breaking eye contact with the computer. I debated not saying, but couldn't help myself. After a few seconds of silence, I said, "At least you kept your shoes on." She puts her face in her hands and rushes to some corner of the unit, and I don't see her the rest of the night. My lady squirts like the Super Soaker on films. It's fun and hot at first, but after a while, it's mostly just something to deal with. Even the regular full-size bath towel is sometimes not enough, and we have to do multiple layers. I'm tired of our mattress getting wet and smelling like funk for days. I also worry about drowning in her liquid if I'm eating her out while she's on top. That stuff went into my nose and it burns like a motherfucker. Also, choked me out when it shot into the back of my throat. Signed. Tired of sleeping on the wet spots on mattresses. Cover your mattress with a waterproof protector. You can buy them on Amazon or any retail store. I've seen some glowing reviews for the Lifesaver mat from Little Helper. Looked into their reusable pads before when I was a broke new mom, but again was broke LOL. In my 30s and 40s, I swear to God, every time I called a plumber, an electrician, a handyman, even the crew who replaced my concrete fireplace mantle, every single damn one of them would hit on me because they'd seen some lonely housewife porn. I'm attractive, but not attractive. I'm really enjoying my old age now, because now guys will come fix the appliances without hinting about their extra services and availability. All of it? There's a lot of people out there that actually like and want to try things they see in mutually and enthusiastically with each other. Last night, my girlfriend and I had a threesome. We do this many times with the same girl. We participate in group sex regularly also. And no, not with fat, old, or unattractive people. Hot people. People that want to be choked, fucked in the ass, eyed, get spit roasted, you come on their tits or face or swallow, and have you call them a good girl. People like sex. You just need to find them. Came here to say something similar. Isn't fantasy. It's staged reality. Lots of people enjoy a variety of consensual activities with a variety of partners, and many couples are also able to separate leisure from emotional connection. 1. Premature ejaculation. 2. Depending on kink, the kinky stuff is common. 3. Airbacking and finishing inside. 4. Spontaneous, spur-of-the-moment. 5. Exhibitionism. 6. Dirty talk. 7. Roleplay. 8. Dress up, outfits. 9. Butt stuff, whiz toys in otherwise straight men. 10. Female-led joy, femdom variations. Pretty much all of can happen IRL, depending on the people and situation preferences involved. What's different is how it looks, sounds, how long it lasts, how attractive the people are, how big or frequent the orgasms are, how much the partners enjoy the sex, and unfortunately whether it's entirely consensual or if the parties are in their right mind. This is a problem. In and out of lots of people have high drives. Lots of people are on drugs. Lots of people have kinks or are exhibitionists, etc. This is mostly about how it looks and sounds. The bloopers cut off the scenes. Sometimes I look them up to laugh. I once saw a very muscular man sucking on a rubber penis in a hotel room, and then a random person walked in and out, so freaked out. In another blooper, I saw a naked woman with very high heels falling down mid-scene and people laughing. I used to work at Costco. One of our supervisors had to drop a member's cars off at their home, something that we did from time to time, upon request, if they spent a lot on the regular, and they requested it. He dropped it off at like 8-9 a.m. and had to give them the keys and get them to sign off on it. The lady came to the door with a totally unbuttoned PJ top on, with everything showing. He let her know by motioning a close your shirt type movement. She blew it off like it was nothing, left the girls out, and signed for the work. People do indeed get off on that type of shit, lol. Having been involved in the adult industry for the first 25 years of my career and seen some shit, women who would have money for is a much larger percentage of the population than most would believe. You likely know someone who has done it at least once. I don't mean banging any random dude, but the right person at the right time in the right circumstances for the right amount. I was amazed at what people would tell me in confidence once they found out what I did and trusted me. Usually drinking involved with these topics, of course. Never had a BJ in my life. I'm 57, and virgin till I met my wife in my 20s. Religion, say no more. Marriage broke up, started to date, then met a lady for coffee a few weeks ago with. In 5 minutes with a coffee in hand, we walked to her car. She kisses me and started to give me a BJ begging me to come in her mouth. Obviously I did, then had a drive. Took me to a quiet spot and we fucked for an hour in her car. Again, finished with another glorious BJ, and another first as she likes anal. She came twice that way. It was pure we when we can meet up, and she always wants my cock. Even when we go to the pub with my friends, she will have her hand under the table stroking it. She is so horny. Thank you, God. I got stuck in a dryer. Unfortunately, shitty dryer, and I was in a hurry, looking for socks without unloading it. Managed to get fully in it, digging in the back and shoving clothes out, onto the door or under my body. Realized too late that I managed to put myself in such a position that trying to lean back up put my full body weight on the door. It would have broken if I had. Had to get my male-at roommate to help me. I will never live this incident down, ever. Before the pandemic, I worked in the office of a major athletic women's clothing brand. I was one of the few men there. That wasn't the old owners. It was 99% women. After a Christmas party, that I made a move on a female coworker. I was so embarrassed. I apologized and never pursued it. Back from the holidays, one of the managers and the designer girl I hit on came to my office. I thought I was being fired. Had sex with her and the manager was there to help out things in the right places. Until the pandemic, I had a regular thing with 4 different coworkers there. Probably the best 4 years of my life. Pandemic killed this culture dead. A lot of it's just that is like 2 people trying to be bad at it. What the X are doing. What TF? This kind of bad skill and passion. I guess you don't want your viewers to learn how to be good at sex, so they stay addicted. TIL. Honestly speaking, sex in the company of others has happened but only once, and it was extremely impractical, very mild, and became uncomfortable. Context. A friend of mine invited my girlfriend and I to his place for a small nighttime party. We got a little dressy and my girlfriend decided to wear a dress that cut at the mid-thigh, but decided to not wear underwear. You know, to drive me nuts. Anyway, long story short, we were sitting in the backyard at a table, and when everyone was occupied and the planets aligned, we attempted to do that thing where the guy slips out his member and the girl sits on it. Her dress covered everything, so no worries. The process was a nerve-wracking pain in my ass. It was extremely sexy for maybe a handful of seconds before the unzipped zipper of my pants began sliding up and pinning or chewing one of my testicles. And of course, conversations go certain ways that may prompt us to separate, but can't do that because my shit is exposed. The moment we got our window, my girlfriend dismounted and I used my hands, outdoor, darkness, and table drape collectively to slide my junk back in. Never the again. I have quite a few plumber or handyman friends, and they all privately confided in me that they did get offered to clean out a woman's pipes at least once, mostly because the women wanted to skip paying them for their services. It's a very rare occurrence, but with so many clients per year coming from all sorts of life, it's basically a matter of when it happens, rather than if it happens. They never take the offer beat away. They'd rather get paid and go home. Plus, it almost always leads to complications. But there are some women out there who really do have a fantasy of seducing a handyman, and they really put on a show to get them to take the bait. The main difference between and amateur is that the act of filming it. That means fucking in certain positions to get the right angles. following a script, studying periodically to take photos for marketing, and extensive prep before any scene. Also, other people will probably be in the room with cameras, lights, and mics, and the guy has to get and stay hard on command, possibly for hours. When stars say they don't enjoy, that's often what they really mean. All the kinky sex you see in also happens IRL, but most people aren't doing it with a fun crew and snack table in the background. Finally, a post asking for a story I can tell. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very best 2-3 seconds of my life. Sass. Context. I was a Pizza Hut delivery boy in the late 90s during my summers off from college. I'm standing at the door waiting on the customer, hot pizza in hand. She opens the door, wearing a robe. She's glistening wet from the shower she clearly just stepped out of. The bathrobe is fully on but not pulled tight. There's definitely more than ample cleavage on display. Beads of water rolling down her ample bosom. She is drop-dead gorgeous, even with no makeup. She notices my attraction to her in an instant. Her gaze shifts down my uniform, very, very slowly. An intense gaze that says to us both, this is going to happen. She lets her gaze linger on me, all the way back up. I couldn't swear under oath, but my memory has her biting her lip, grinning at me as the bathrobe slides to reveal more breast viewing. I'm floored. I'm 1921 or so. My jaw hangs agape. She smiles. I smile. Some jackass from another room shouts out, "Is that the pizza, babe? I'm starving." She instantly pulls the robe tight. Goodbye tits, goodbye fantasy. God damn, that was an amazing 2-3 seconds of life. Massive parlors. A quarter of them are actual stand-up places. Another quarter are straight-up brothels. 40% are happy ending hand jobs. 5% are blowjobs only. The other 5% are straight-up. Now I know the last one is confusing. The difference is they do massage as a business with on the side. The brothels are set and the bare minimum of a massage. Can confirm cuckolding is real. I told this story on another thread, but thought it would be interesting to you guys. So, wife 32, Thai American, 5 feet tall, and about 110 pounds. She started flirting with this 19-year-old frat kid she met online. From the start, he was obviously into her. Told her flat out, hell'll be better than anything she's had before. I kind of laughed due to his age and even talked shit to him. Turned out to be a bad move, LO. Basically walked in like he owned the place. Prick even made her meet him at the front door in a thong and bare feet. I won't go into all the details, but I remember seeing that moving around in her stomach. When I asked how good he was, she said, "Let him keep my thong, if that tells you anything." I imagine him showing off pictures of my wife at the frat laughing, telling them how he owns her. I mean, all of it. They film. Oh, we mean the actions. All of them in a consenting relationship where all partners want to try crazy things. Exists because of desire. Desire grows and evolves. Fantasies grow and evolve. Follows those things. The more open and legal a kink, the more likely there exists to excite those with that kink. It's like Rule 34, but instead art portraying fantasy, it's fantasy being brought to life. One guy walked naked in a locker room to get my attention. I was naked and got wood, and he asked me if I wanted to go over there and get off with him. Or the guy who wanted to show me something and took me into an alley and pulled my pants down and just stared at me and sort of played with my scrotum a little bit. Some guys are just sexually forward. A female passenger in an Uber or Lyft decides to tip their driver with sex. Thought it would never happen, but I actually had a passenger offer to f me as my tit. Was the best tip I got that night. I used to own rental properties, and on more than one occasion I had women who, for whatever reason, were short on the rent and offered me sex to make up the difference. My response was always, for the amount of money that you owe me, I could go and get a really nice escort for 3 hours and get the super deluxe treatment. I doubt you're that good in the sack. Please pay me. They'd always get mad at me though, as if me wanting my money instead of made me a bad guy. Sudden happened to me. Was watching a move with a girlfriend. She fell asleep and started to caress me. I woke her up, told what she was doing. One thing led to another and we ended up doing the deed. Had a girl at work give me head every day for years. Like 6 or more. Ended up falling in love with her. We don't work there anymore and don't live does, but still see each other some. Women really do enjoy sucking. Like, some are really enthusiastic about it. Have met multiple women who spend their day thinking about sucking that next penis. Hate it. My hot nubile stepsister is pretty much constantly stuck in the washing machine, and only my super hot mother-in-law sap helped tease hair out. Would say someone peeing or pooping out whether they are completely naked or not, as shown in these porn videos, especially when they need to do and there are no pain. bathrooms around or like relieving themselves outdoors as part of their fetish or kink. Orgies, public, exhibitionism, rimming, BDSM, DP, pretty much anything, really. You just have to lower expectations on how the person is going to look and find the right crowd. The sister is embarrassed when her brother walks in on her unexpected, or has a boner while watching TV. Have always suspected that unrealistic is a poorly chosen word. Think that much of is likely realistic in an uncommon or out of context way. I'm here to say pretty much everything. It all depends on the type of relationship you have, the current partner that you have, on the current commitment that you have to your partner, and also the size of your wallet goes a long way. Everyone under 40 thinks they're supposed to be shaved, trimmed, and scaped to within an inch of their eyes. When went mainstream, one think a lot of us expected that would start to look more like real, and to some extent it did. What we didn't expect was that real life would also start to look more like porn. In retrospect, it was inevitable, but it's not healthy. Don't think keeping it under an inch is a bad practice. I'm a nurse and a doctor. I work with made an excuse to talk to me about a work thing, to buy me a friendly coffee. It turned out we had some real chemistry. I enjoyed every second talking to him. He got my number and flirted with me over text. Things are fully hot and heavy now. He grabs my butt when no one is looking. We make out in an undisclosed location at work if our breaks coincide. And I finally scored some awesome sex with this doctor. The sexual chemistry is insane. I'll tell you what doesn't happen in real life. Some guy is sitting in the waiting room while his car is being fixed. He's looking at a porn magazine and decides to pull down his pants and play with himself. Meanwhile, two very attractive women enter, and instead of being horrified, they get turned on and they have a threesome. Girl being desperate to suck your meat, only occasionally though. Some people are cock hungry, and it's awesome when they are. I would have agreed with you, but a recent relationship taught me otherwise. Sometimes the sense of relief of, that's just what I needed, that is so clearly on her face, is utterly unmistakable. Long before things wrap up, soon as they begin really, like someone finally getting a drink of cool water on a hot day. It is almost like the old Jim Jeffries bit about nice girls for thoughty girls. They are out there. Millawally's brother.
Thank you for watching. Write comments, put likes. Do not forget to watching other videos.